All right, so check it out. Excuse me. I don't know exactly how long this video is gonna be because like scripting and shit. But I do want to talk about something, right? And that is something that I've been experiencing recently, and something that I've sort of been dissecting, thinking about a little bit, and the statement in itself, in and of itself, the statement, like the header, the headline, is that those who do deserve. All right. And so we're going to talk about that real quick. So I'm going to preface it with two stories. So the first story, right? If you watched the previous episode, whatever, I don't even know why I'm saying that, but like if you did, suppose that you followed the story, right? You're following the story. This is chapter 2 in Andrew's life, or whatever, page 2, whatever. So you're following the story. Heard the previous chapter. You know what's going on so far, which is not much because this is the second video. But anyway, assume that you did, right? So, considering precarious, employment circumstances, so on and so forth, I went out, I ventured, I endeavored to go and find another somewhere else that I could work, right? Another employer, another facility. And so because I have experience in sort of the gym side of things, I decided, okay, well, let's go find other gyms and go talk to people and see what they need and see if I could fulfill that need, provide some sort of value, right? So there is a gym that I walked into, and I spoke to the guy. Obviously, you don't want to show up and be like, "Hey, my name is Andrew, hire me." It's more like, okay, well, you get to know the other person, right? Tactics, if we're talking about sort of tactics, icebreakers, so on and so forth. But it's a question of so I walk in and I ask some questions. I'm like, "Yo, what's up? Like, what is your gym? What do you guys do? You know what I mean? Like, what's your steez?" And so we had some conversation. The guy was pretty cool. I asked him some questions. He answered some questions. Standard operating procedure. And so as he was answering questions, oftentimes he'd ask me why. I'd be like, why? What do you think? Which I found pretty interesting. And then I'd give my opinion based on my, what I think and my experiences, knowledge, you know. And so we just ended up having this conversation, going back and forth. Why? What do you think? Here's my response. This, that, and the other thing. We had a whole conversation, and so how that turned out, how that maturized, was very interesting. In this, in excuse me, god damn, it's milk. For those of you who aren't aware, quick side story. I'm just going off on a tangent right now. Milk, lactose, has this thing, effect on the mucus. And so, you might find that after eating lactose heavy or consuming lactose heavy foodstuffs, you end up with a lot of this mucusy, going on over here. So just in case you're always curious why, excuse me, why that's a problem, after eating ice cream or drinking a lot of milk or something, especially, I imagine, especially if you're lactose intolerant, then it just becomes a thing with the mucus. So that's just side tip. Anyway, so I was talking to Homesky, and so how this maturized is that I figured, okay, well, this guy is doing something, right? He's a business owner. He's got a small boutique gym, and it's fucking nice. It's so nice. The bathrooms are some of the nicest bathrooms, if not the nicest bathrooms I've ever seen in a building, period. Like, there's no reason why this guy's gym bathroom should be nicer than a hotel bathroom or something like that. You know what I mean? Like somewhere that you'd go, restaurant, where you'd expect it to be like top notch, like super dope, type shit. Like his shit is on, it's on some, you know what I mean? It's on a whole other level. And so that's crazy. And like his aesthetic is sick, and like his whole vibe, like, you know what I mean? It's a different, it's crazy. So so he's doing all right. He's managing, but there's a lot of things there that he just doesn't have the ideas for or the experience for. Doesn't know how to fix some of these problems, right? And so I have a little bit of experience, a little bit. I have actionable insights. I have ideas on things that we can do and how we can, sort of improve those processes, really. And so, two brains are better than one, effectively. I'm not a professional. He's not a professional. I know some shit. He knows some shit. Smack them together, and you make gold, I guess. And so, so that's pretty much how things materialize. I was like, listen, I'm here. I don't mind availing myself to you to, sort of help you grow your business, right? Like, I guess consulting on some level. Again, I'm not like a professional or anything, but I put myself out there and I do have some knowledge in things that he doesn't. I have some ideas, some sort of creativities. I'm like, okay, let's try this shit out. Let's do this, let's do that. And I think this is where side tangent again, if you're the type of person, so I often see, and I don't want to, this is a very broad generalization, but understand where I'm coming from with this. There's an individual who is sort of like not one track mind, but they're like very focused on a particular thing that they want to become really good at and are able to excel very quickly, right? So like for instance, you go to med school, right? Obviously that's the thing that you really want to, put your focus in, and you do good and you go far, and then there you go, your sort of like career progression is set out, right? Like you have this professional degree, that's the thing you studied for, and the job opportunities that follow are sort of there, like you're gonna be a doctor, right? And there are not enough doctors, there can never be enough doctors, so you'll always find somewhere with your skills, I assume. I'm not in that realm, someone from there can correct me if I'm mistaken, but there's always going to be a need for a doctor, so you're probably going to be hired, and like despite all the debt that you might have, you're employable and you're employed forever until you decide that you don't want to be, I suppose. Cool. And then there's another sort of side of people, again heavily generalized, but understand where I'm coming from here. There's another side of people who are generalists, I guess, and are intrigued by a variety of things and a variety of disciplines. So, it's sort of like the jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than the master of one. That is the rest of the quote that people often forget. There is more to that quote. And so this is the sort of situation where you don't really have any expert knowledge in anything in particular, so no one really cares what your opinion is because you don't know enough for it to make a real difference. And like your interests are so disparate that you don't really have like a stable foothold. So it seems, from the outside that you can actually contribute in any, redeemable way to a particular thing. You know a lot about a lot of shit. You know about a lot of shit. A little bit about a lot of shit, but you don't know enough about any one thing in particular. And I've always been that kind of person, and I think that there are many people in a similar position. So, coming back, this is one of those situations where that is a benefit to me because of my varied interests and my completely disparate experiences. When it comes to that situation, I'm not there to like sort of solve a particular, like I'm here to do his SEO and I'm just an expert at that in particular. It's like, no, I know a little bit of SEO. Let's hit that shit. I know a little bit of marketing. Let's hit that shit. Email copy. Let's hit that shit. I know a little bit about business operation. Let's hit that shit. I know a little bit about sales and marketing. Let's hit that shit. You know what I mean? I know a little bit about fitness in general, so I can also contribute in that capacity. I know a little bit about graphic design, so if you want some, sort of 3D visuals for his logo or something, I can do that. I'm not going to create the coolest thing in the world. He's going to have to pay some guy, 10 grand to at least to come up with some really dope shit, but I can get us somewhere, right? And so it's not directly clear all the ways in which I can contribute, but because I have so many varied interests in so many disparate, disciplines, there's value there. You can extract the value and you can provide all sorts of different solutions in a variety of ways. So that was just an aside for the people who are like me, who feel like, well, I know a whole bunch of shit, but not enough about anything in particular to actually make a difference. Like, no. Hold on to that, and at some point in time, one day, all of those disparate experiences and skills will be valuable at some point in time. So again, jack of all trades, master of none, comma, but oftentimes better than the master of one. People forget the rest of that statement. It's there. That is the whole quote. Learn it, live it, love it, whatever. Okay, cool. So anyway, we're doing cool. I like the guy. We're chilling. we're working. We're getting there slowly, 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 slowly. Obviously, this benefits both of us, right? Like if my contributions can help him do better, awesome. Then, then if he does better, then I can get compensated. Awesome. That's cool. If that's not the case at all, then I have the experience of being able to do that. And that can now be a thing that I do, right? Like I have the experience. I've done it once. Here's the numbers. Consulting. Call Andrew, pay him, $100,000 for an hour of his time to help build your business. Okay, cool. Dope. So moving on. And that was just because I literally just walked into his gym and I was like, hey, Doug, you know what I mean? Like that opportunity never would have happened if I was like just searching online or something. Like I literally walked into the shit and I was like, hey, yo, Doug. And he was like, hey, yo, bruh. You know what I mean? So that's that. Part two. I was actually, well, yeah, no, it's fine. So I was searching on Indeed or whatever for jobs and stuff, and I came across this film studio intern position, and I thought that was really interesting. So I sent an application in on Indeed, and then nothing happened, obviously, because on the job boards it's just fucking silence. All right, but anyway, so I checked the studio on the map, and I thought it seemed a lot closer to me than it actually is, but I thought it was like, 10 minutes. I'll hop on a bus, go check that shit out. Turned out being 30 minutes, but it's not far. It's still in the area. So I was like, fuck it. Let me just go see it anyway. So I walked into the thing and I met the dude. It was a whole bunch of like camera operators and like staff, moving shit. It's a film studio, right? So it's like, they it's a rental, whatever. Anyway, I'm getting too lost in like the particulars of this story. Anyway, so I walked in and I met a dude, right? And I was like, "Yeah, what's up?" You know what I mean? Obviously, when you're meeting people in person, especially, when you're meeting people that, you hope will hire you, you don't just show up and go, "What's up?" But anyway, I'm recounting the story after the fact from my, my filter. So I pulled up and I was like, hey, yo, what's up? And he's like, yo, what's good? And then we sort of got into this conversation. I was like, yeah, I see you're hiring and whatnot. Let's kick it. And he's like, word, yeah, we are hiring. So, what you saying? And I was like, yo, so we had this whole back and forth, you know what I mean? This exchange, this dialogue. And and it was really interesting. His spot is fucking cool, and the types of people, his clients are also fucking cool. And I was like, dude, how did you, this is really impressive how you just sort of put this together, and now you're killing it. And he's killing it. Props to him, respects. But so he was like, yeah. I just fucking put the thing up on Indeed. I put the post, and then like a day later, I wake up and my phone's like 400, 500 applications for you know what I mean? There's a bajillion people in there, and it's a lot, and it's overwhelming. I get that. So but we had that. So at the end of the exchange, he's like, "Yo, just shoot me an email, so I can send you the schedule, and you'll take a look at what's popping and see what you want to come down and work on." And then and we'll take it from there. So I was like, all right, that's dope. So I went off and I did that. Now I'm still waiting on him to respond. That was yesterday, you know what I mean? So I'm still waiting, but it's all good. Who knows if it materializes, right? It might just fall through. Who cares? That's besides the point. The point is that in both those two situations, I got up and I fucking went there to meet somebody, a real person, because this on this computer shit is dope. You can, there's access, but you're also going to be drowned out, right? This guy told me for a film studio intern. Now imagine the job that you're actually trying to get, right? The thing that you think you're qualified for, that's got like a crazy pay and like benefits and whatever, all this dope shit. They probably have like 10,000 applicants. You know what I mean? Like who are you? How do you think you're gonna stand out? You might have a sick resume, but dog, like man's next door has a resume sicker than yours, if not just as sick, with like an additional 20 years of experience in the field. So who are you really? And so the point is, in both those situations, I went out to meet someone face to face, right? I went there. I spoke to them. I showed an initiative. I showed an interest. I did all that. Gangsta. So now that puts me above the 400 applicants because he doesn't know who they are and he doesn't really want to take his time reading 400 applications when a dude who checks the boxes he's looking for literally walked in front of him, had a 20-minute conversation, exchanged contact details, done. He's better off just calling me and being like, yo, can you come in? Like, let's get started, as opposed to sitting back and reading, scouring 400 applications for the perfect applicant. Like, no, fuck no. You know what I mean? So, and that ties back into the original statement. Those who do deserve. Now, you can, sort of take the perspective. You can look at this from someone else's perspective, right? Someone else who might have applied, who is probably like so into film, right? Like that is his entire life. I'm not. I'm into music and other things, but film is interesting to me. But this guy is like probably so into film, right? Like that's his entire life, and that's all he's wanted to do his entire life, and he probably has 10 years of experience working in a previous film studio. He knows the names of the lenses, and he knows the rigs, and he knows I would use better terminology here, except I don't know any of it, so please excuse, like I don't know what to call the shit, but I'll learn, I guess. And so, he's got all of that. He's got all that. And he just applied online and he's waiting for a response. From his perspective, I suck. I'm a dick, right? He's like, what the fuck? Why would you hire this random dude who doesn't know anything about this world? He just walked in. He just sort of likes film. Like, that's not even his shtick, but he's hired versus me, who's got like a bajillion years of experience. And I've been doing this since the film was in black and white, you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, sorry. The difference is those who do deserve, right? And it sucks. It sucks. And we see that, from all sorts of different perspectives on a daily basis. And we're so upset and frustrated with the people who get the opportunities versus those who don't. But the reality is, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, I went there. Who else did? I was the only one to physically go to the place and meet the owner of the facility, right? So I mean, I should deserve that position as well, right? I took time out of my day. I made the initiative and I went there. The action is where the value is. And this can be tied in with the other thing I was going to talk about, but I hope you're understanding what I'm talking about. Extrapolate this to the rest of your life, right? You're watching people on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, whatever your poison, your preferred poison. These guys are out here just becoming bajillionaires, literally seemingly out of thin air. Like it looks ridiculous at this rate, honestly, all these entrepreneur bros. I didn't, entrepreneur bros, you know what I mean? They're just milking money out of thin air. Are they genuine? Who knows? But you better believe they're doing something. At the very least, they're lying about it on Instagram to a wide audience, which is probably making them money. So at the very least, they're deceptive, but they're doing, right? Versus you, who probably deserves by all accounts to be a billionaire, but you haven't really done anything about it, right? Like you haven't actually proactively done something about it. Those guys are doing. Similarly, I did. So I deserve. The action happened. And that's the way the universe works. The universe works through action, and creativity is like the juice. Creativity is the conduit through which action occurs, right? Like ideas are free. Ideas are a blessing. Ideas are the ether. You know what I mean? They are the juice, right? The creativity is the juice. It's there. It's available. Here's your cup. Fill it up, son. Take a swig. The creativity, the ideas, they're there. They exist. It's the juice. But the action is the thing. You gotta take the action. You feel like you're not creative enough. You know what I mean? You feel like you don't have billion-dollar ideas. You'll get them once you take the action, because the action allows the juice. You know what I mean? Like you could ask any creative or songwriter. It's like, how do you come up with all of these amazing songs? How do you, you're so inspirational, you're so amazing. It's like, bro, they're in the studio doing the shit. Ask any writer, how do you come up with these amazing books? Like, how do you do? Yeah, they're great. They're great minds. They're creative minds. But at the end of the day, The same dude is writing 10 pages a day every day. That's the action. It could be of, complete bullshit. It could be like Ed Sheeran says, it's like a tap. You gotta let the shitty songs go until the dope song comes out, the fresh water, you know what I mean? The action, effectively, in a lot of ways, again, ideas are free and everyone can have ideas at any, at a moment's notice. Ideas just pop up. But realistically, the action is the precursor to the activity. Sorry, to the creativity, to the idea, to the big thing that's going to make a difference, right? The writers who are writing the number one New York Times best-selling author, ba-da-da-da-da, is writing 10 pages a day every day of absolute garbage. You know what I mean? But tell you one thing, you keep doing that 10 pages a day every day, at the end of a year, couple of them pages is gonna turn out pretty good, and now you got Lord of the Rings and you're like, holy shit, this guy's a genius. It's like, no, really, no. You could have been that genius had you just written 10 pages a day every day and dealt with the garbage. You know what I mean? So like, action is a precursor to the creativity. Everyone's got ideas. Nobody is like not creative. I don't believe that. I inherently don't. You just need to figure out what's your avenue. You know what I mean? You can be creative in a variety of ways. You need to figure out your avenue. But in order to figure out your avenue, you need to do the action so that the juice of the creativity can fuel that action. Do you understand? So again, those who do deserve, because action is the way the universe works, right? If you want to get meta about it, not sponsored by Facebook, if you want to get meta about it, that is the process. And I think that's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, and I think that's like a really real thing, because at the end of the day, ideas, right? The app, ideas, ideas, ideas. Who would I be if I just had that? Oh, you know what? And then someone else comes up with it, and I'm like, I had that idea 10 years ago. Ah, no one cares. Unfortunately, everything that exists, everyone had that idea a million years ago. Like, unfortunately, there's no truly unique idea. And I think that's just the nature of the ether, the connected consciousness, right? The universal consciousness. No one has a unique idea. I always say, anytime you have an idea, someone also just had that idea, and probably a whole bunch more people already had that idea, and that's where you got that idea from them. You know what I mean? And that just keeps going back, 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 and back and back. Where is the initial source of the idea? Like the true, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's God. That's, you know what I mean? It comes from there, falls down. 3 million people get it at the same time, or whatever, smaller number, 300,000, I don't know, just whatever arbitrary number, but it's not one. It's not one sole unique person who had that idea. A bunch of people had it and it spread. Who executed on it? Who did it? That is the differentiator. Whoever did it, whoever did the action, allowed the creativity to happen. The action opens up the floodgates and the creativity happens. And then you'll look at the guy and be like, he's a fucking genius, this guy. Like, where does he come up with it? No, it has nothing to do with him and his ideas, and everything to do with the fact that he was like, you know what? I'm gonna fucking do it. I don't, if hell or high water, I'm gonna fucking do it. It's gonna be impossible. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. I don't know fucking anything because I've never done it before, because it's a new idea, but I'm gonna fucking do it, and then we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? The Zuckerbergs, the Musks, and all them dudes who, the whole list of names. And me, who there was an idea for an app and I just didn't feel comfortable dying without having tried. I'm not the first person to have that idea, and there are probably going to be a million other apps just like it. But at the end of the day, this is my shot to turn it into something. And if I fail, I can rest easy knowing that I gave it my best shot. If I hit it, that's gonna be fucking dope, right? And it turns out to be something that actually like changes my life. That would be sick. And everyone will look and be like, yo, this guy, where does he get these ideas from, bro? it's not. It's not. You probably had the same idea because there's gonna be one bloke who's like, "Yo, I actually had that idea 20 years ago." It's like, "All right, cool, dog. Like, I can't even validate that because you didn't do anything with it. So you could just be making that shit up, right?" Like, it's just so arbitrary. It's so empty. Ideas are free. Everyone's got them, and you will continue having them for the rest of your life. Please, if you do nothing else, do something about those ideas. Just do something. And that's where the creativity will flow. You'll feel like a brand. People are going to look at you like you're some sage or something because you opened up the floodgates for creativity. You allowed it to happen. That's how the universe operates. Otherwise, you're just going to miss out on a bunch of opportunities that should have been yours, even though you're more than qualified for them. And you're gonna get steamrolled by some dude who was with dumb luck, who was just like, fuck it, I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm gonna figure it out along the way. And then things just started happening, right? Like, you call it manifestation, you call it, the universe conspiring for you. You fucking call it whatever you want. But at the end of the day, it's like, it's those who do deserve. You do. You know what I mean? You deserve a shot on goal. You deserve a slice of the pie. You got to take action. You got to take action, and then the universe will take action for you. So I think that's the end of my rant. I just wanted to sort of discuss that point. I think there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I'll maybe save that for another video because it's like 26 minutes long, and most of it is full of me just stumbling over my words and coloring the lines with colors that aren't even supposed to be in that picture. Like, I'm just putting unnecessary shit in there, but that's okay because that just makes it more exciting. That's the vibe. But anyway, so yeah, that's cool. 2 videos a week. This is numero uno for this week, and then we're gonna hit up another one and yeah, see how far that takes us. You see, another thing, ideas, right? I don't have any ideas for YouTube videos and stuff. I sort of just like do it on the go and try and pre-plan it the day before so that I have talking points or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, I'm like, no, I'm gonna try this YouTube shit. I'm just gonna do it. I can make 2 videos a day, of varying lengths. I could just make it 2 videos a day and just do it and then see what happens. And then other people are going to be like, this guy he doesn't know how to edit his videos. He doesn't know how to fucking write a script. He doesn't know how to, but look, he's got like 1 million subscribers. It's because I did, bro. I just did it. You have all the skills in the world, but you didn't actually put them anywhere. And that's sad. So don't die like that. Don't let your skills die. Don't let your dreams be just dreams, or whatever Shia LaBeouf said. Just do it. Just do it. You know what I mean? Nike, Shia LaBeouf, just fucking do it. All right. So that's that. I hope that is worth something to you. Think about it, breathe it in, and let it motivate your future actions. All right. Until then, stay blessed or whatever. Like, subscribe, smash that shit. I don't know. And we'll talk to you later.